Okay, so I'm back. This is the video for Q2 of every feature or the main features that we've added to the platform in the second quarter of this year. At the start of this year, I said that I was going to create a video vlog every quarter to update our current user base on what we've changed in the system so that you understand that we are still trying to push the platform forward. We are very aware that as a fairly new player in the ATS CRM space, we are kind of still playing catch up on some of the well-established systems that are already out there in the recruitment space. But we're confident that we can keep building, keep adding value to this product so that we are up there and considered one of the best. But I feel like it's important for me to put these together so that the people that are coming on the journey with us, that have been with us for maybe a year or 6 months, however long, know that actually, shit, the package I'm using now has all these different features. And when I create these videos, I also do a blog. So I will try to remember to put in the comments of this video a link to the blog so that you can take a look at it. The blog basically runs through everything in more detail. So I'm going to talk about the 4 kind of main features I think it's worth sharing. But if you want to find out more about those features, or if you want to find out maybe about the bug fixes or all the other little tweaks we're making, head over to that blog and you can kind of flick through and have a read of it there. So the 4 main kind of feature updates I'm going to talk about in this video, which I think are worth sharing with you, are the team controls that we've added. And we've basically given you the ability to control what your team can and can't do in the system. Customization of the pipelines. So the interview pipeline in Giig, the candidate pipeline, is now fully customizable. The third thing that we've added is a new job board partner. We are very aware that job boards or connectivity to job boards is kind of like a weak area for us, and we want to improve on that all the time. So we've added a new partner, which I think does move that forward. And the 4th thing is the ability to set multi-layer custom tags so that you can make sure you've got a tagging system that suits your needs and that you are structuring all of the data that you add into the platform so that you can easily pull that up again at a later date. So to go from the top, the first one was the team controls. So for anyone that doesn't know about Giig, when we first started out, we were mainly focused on supporting solo recruiters, those people that are currently working in an agency that are looking to break away and set up their own thing. We were kind of building a system to help them. And as we've grown and as we've developed, we now have agencies that are joining the platform, which is great. In Q2, we had a selection of agencies, all between 10 to 20 members of staff that joined the platform. And obviously, as they come into the system, they bring different challenges, right? They bring different challenges to the solo entrepreneur or solo founder. And one of the challenges that they face is like the ability to control what their team can and can't access. So the first thing we did in this quarter was build a control panel that basically allows you as the owner of the Giig account to control what your team can and can't do. And to give you a small example, it might be the stats on the dashboard. You can control what they can see there. When it comes to adding data to the system, candidates, companies, contacts, jobs, can they do that? Can they edit data? Can they delete the data? Can they send emails from the system? Can they send bulk emails from the system? Can they see everybody's pipeline, or can they just see the pipeline that they're responsible for, that they're working on? So now, if you are an owner of Giig that's managing a small team, or you're running a slightly bigger team, you can go into the team control panel and you've got the ability to then, like I say there, customize what your team can and can't do, which I think is a super valuable feature. And to be honest, as there's more and more agencies coming into the system, our mindset is going to shift. Our mindset is already shifting when we're building product of like, how do we build this for small teams rather than just solos? Our aim is always going to be to have the free forever plan to support solos. You know, that was our goal, to give you a completely free system that you can use. That's not going to change, but we are starting to think now, how can we kind of support those bigger businesses so that if you're somebody that's running a team of 15, 20, 30 people, you can utilize Giig to manage that team successfully as well. So the second one was the custom pipelines. Now, the custom pipelines is probably my favorite update from this. You'll see there's a little bit of a theme with customization with the custom pipelines and the tags, which obviously I'm going to talk about as well. The reason that customization is something that we're focusing on is because it's been so highly requested. There's been so many people that come into the system that say, hey, I want to customize this candidate interview pipeline. And until now, it's been a one size fits all. You've not been able to change it. So everyone that's come in has always had to work on the same pipeline. I've had a lot of people kind of voicing they'd like to be able to customize it. So basically you can do that now. What you can do is you go into the customization settings inside of the system, head to pipeline, and from there you can basically add and remove stages, and you can relabel the stages as well. So kind of the first step for you is that you can set the pipeline up how you want, with all the stages labeled in whatever way makes sense to you. You can color code them as well. That's like a nice little extra. And then when you are adding these custom statuses, you can set a triggered action for every stage in the pipeline. So the triggered action basically means when I drag a candidate from this stage to this stage, I want the system to run this triggered action. And the simple example I always give is you might want it to send a welcome email or a follow-up email to a candidate. So you can create a stage that says welcome GDPR email, or like follow-up email, call follow-up email. And when you drag the candidate from one stage to that stage, the system will just load the email template that you've selected. You can then see that, you can quickly change anything that you need to change, check it basically. And once you're happy with it, you just click send and off you go. So there's two parts to this, right? There's the customize it the way you want it. And then there's set these little triggered actions so that it makes your admin life that little bit easier, so that you don't have to constantly be writing these emails out over and over and over again. Because again, for us, where we're kind of building for the smaller business, we understand as a small business ourselves that time is super precious, right? And we want to give you a system where you're like, I can get things done. I can get shit done in this system real quick. And that allows me to spend more time doing this, which makes me more money, right? So I like that. The third thing is the job board partner. So as I said at the start of the video, job boards is definitely an area of improvement for us, where we kind of like over time, we're going to be adding more and more and more. But in Q2, we partnered with a business called Candidate Source. Candidate Source are a job board aggregator where they've got relationships with like over 300 different job boards, I believe. And with the integration to them, what we're able to do is send jobs straight to them that they can distribute onto the job boards for you, and any applications will come straight back into the system. So Candidate Source have a package called Express Job Board Posting, and what that basically means is that if you send them a job through the system, they will distribute it onto 4 or 5 of the most popular job boards. I think you've got a CV Library in there, you've got Indeed, Total Jobs, CW Jobs, job boards of that caliber. Basically, they will receive your posting request through Giig. They will then write you the job spec. So this is like a managed service, right? Because they write you the job spec, and then they distribute that for you. When the applications come back in, they filter them, do like a top level layer filtering just to make sure that any candidates that you receive are relevant. And then the candidate applications drop straight back into Giig. So all you need to do is click a button to say, hey, send that job out. They'll then take care of the rest. They'll write the spec, they'll distribute it, they'll filter the candidates, and the candidates will drop straight back into your Giig account. So that's kind of like part one of the job board partnership with Candidate Source. And the second thing that they can do is they can help you as a small business gain discounts from the job boards as well. As I understand it, they buy job slots in bulk. So they buy bulk job slots from the big players. They're, again, I think Total Jobs, Reed, CV Library, potentially Indeed. And they then allow you to buy them at a discounted rate compared to going direct to those job boards. So I will put up a picture on this video so that you can see the kind of discounts that they can get you. But if you are a Giig Plus user and you're somebody that has no previous relationship with these job boards, you can access these discounts as well, which is going to save you a little bit of money, especially if you're somebody that utilizes the job boards a lot. There's two different things there, right? With the job board posting, the ability to integrate with Candidate Source to send them jobs that they'll manage for you, or the ability to claim discounts from the job boards as well. So the final one is the multi-layered custom tagging, right? Quite simply, it's just creating custom tags. So what you're able to do inside of Giig when you first open an account is you can go into customization and you can select the categories, or you can create, I should say, the categories of tags that you want to track against the candidates and the contacts and the companies and jobs as well, but basically track against the data that you're popping into Giig. So for example, you might say for candidates, I want to track seniority, sector or industry. I don't know, there might be like lead status or candidate engagement, something like that. You can create whatever it is that you want to track, go into the settings, add those categories, add those individual tags, again, select the colors if you want, and you've then got your own custom tagging system. Once you've set that up and you're adding data into the platform, if you're adding a contact or a candidate, you can just click on the tags that you want to associate to that record, just hit save, and that's going to be saved with the tags. You can then obviously run searches that will allow you to pull those records up. So to give you an example, you might speak to a contact and they say, I hire mechanics in London at this seniority. So you can put that contact into your system with those tags. And then when you find that like shit hot candidate that's in London that works in, I can't even remember what I said, but in London works in construction as senior, you can then do a search on Giig to say, show me all the contacts that I've tagged that I know will hire this type of candidate. And the system's then going to give you a list, right? So that you can then start working through that list either via email, bulk outreach, or the phones to say, hey, we spoke recently and you said you'd be interested if I found this type of candidate. Something's come across my desk, here you go. So this tagging system, I hope, will solve one of the biggest kind of like traps I see people fall into, and that is categorizing and storing the data correctly. Because one of the common mistakes I see people make all the time is they come to Giig and they're like, I'm going to set up my ATS CRM. And they basically just chuck data in there with no tagging and no structure. And all you're left with is a glorified Excel sheet, right? Of names and numbers and maybe email addresses that you can't do anything with. So I think this is going to help recruiters solve that issue, because we've actually added it, I should say, to the free forever plan as well. So if you're just using our free product, you can now come in that data, set up your custom tags up, and just makes your life that much easier, so that when you win that job and you need to quickly filter your candidates, or when you find that candidate and you want to know what contacts you can send them to, it's kind of like as simple as clicking a couple of buttons, really. The other thing that's going to come very soon, so as of the time I'm recording this, it's not live, but by the time I send this video up to YouTube or wherever I'm going to put it, we are going to hopefully have launched the ability for you to bulk tag records as well. Because again, it's about making it super simple, quick and easy for you to manage your data in Giig. Because as a small business owner, you want to spend, like I say, more time doing the shit that's going to make you money, right? So we're adding the ability for you to bulk tag records in the system. So if you're uploading 10 CVs or a Excel sheet and you know that everyone on this sheet matches this specific demographic and I want to tag it with these 3 tags, once you've uploaded that data, you can select all, bulk actions, and set like mass tag. So I think that's going to really help make, again, your life that little bit easier when it comes to keeping on top of the management of your data as well. That's everything, right? That's all the 4 things that I mentioned wrapped up. I did kind of say at the start of the video that I've written a blog, which again, I'm going to try and put the link to in the notes. If you want to see any of those features in detail, go and check out the blog, because what I do is I break each feature down, I explain it, and then I've obviously done a video for every single feature. So if you're like, oh, I want to see more on the custom tags, go to the blog, find custom tags, watch the video. That will give you a run through of like how you set up your tag categories, how you add tags to data, and then how you search that data, right? So go and check that blog out if you want to see it in more detail. We've got big plans for Q3. I'm excited about the stuff that we're building this quarter, because I feel like as time goes on, the features are getting that little bit more juicier, if that's the right word, the technical term. So yeah, I'll come back in the end of Q3, start of Q4 with an update on more juicy features, I suppose. Yeah, that's good.